Yo, it's Worm. Today I'm going to show you how you can create a common weapon all the way up to an epic weapon in Fortnite Lego. I did make a guide before, but this is an updated version as you no longer need to upgrade the crafting bench. To get started, we're going to do it from scratch, so we're going to create a new world. So if you go to the bottom left corner, select world, and we're now going to create a new one. This is the best way to show you how to do it from scratch, so we're going to do it in survival mode. Once you created your world, let's head over there. Chapter 1, Crafting Bench. To get started making uncommon weapons, we need to make a crafting bench. To do that, we're going to need to get some materials, 3 wood and 5 granite. These are going to be found on the floor, so just pick them up. While picking up new materials, we're going to unlock new recipes. These recipes are going to be unlocked when we make the crafting bench. Once you have the materials, we can now craft one. So once you've crafted it, just go use it. We now have new recipes for a forest axe and a pickaxe common. We're also going to make a short sword, but we need to make other things to use it. So first off, we're going to make a forest axe with 5 wood and 2 granite. We're then going to make a common pickaxe for 5 wood. Now we've got the tools, we're going to go use them. So we're going to use the pickaxe on this boulder, and there's going to be a quicker way to harvest granite. As you can see, it's damaging for 3 every time we hit it, but if we jump and hit it, it's going to double the damage to 6. It's a little trick you're going to learn. You can also pick up granite off the floor still, but there is a quicker way using harvest tools. This is the same for the forest axe as well, so if you jump and hit it, it's going to do double the damage, so it does 4. But if you just want to hit it normally, you're only going to do 2 damage for a common axe. To create the short sword, we now need to make a lumber mill. So if you go to utility, the second one across in stations, you're going to need 8 wood and 15 granite. We've now got a recipe for wooden rod and planks, so we're going to make a load of wooden rods to make the short sword. You're going to need around 5 to do this. It's going to take a few moments to do. In the meantime, let's dance. Uh-oh. As you can see, it's now started to rain and the machine has stopped working. So if you have the machine out in the open and it rains, it will break. So what you need to do now is build a shelter above it, and then it will continue to work. Now it's covered, it will continue to work and you can get back to work. Once you've got 5 pieces on the go, we can then craft the short sword. And there you go, all the common weapons, the sword, the pickaxe and the forest axe. Chapter 2, Uncommon Tools. We're now going to create an uncommon longsword, pickaxe, forest axe and a crossbow. The crossbow is going to be used to help you make the rare weapons. To get started, we need to find a cave in the grasslands. If you go to a map and you look onto the key on the left hand side, under backpack there will be caves and there'll be a little picture of a mountain. Once you find it, we're now going to enter it and we're now going to go farm some bones. The bones are found by eliminating skeletons. These skeletons can be found in caves or across the map at night time. Each different biome has a different type of skeleton and depends on how difficult they are to kill. As soon as you pick up a bone, we're going to get a recipe for the uncommon forest axe. This is what we're going to go create in a couple of minutes. Once you head back to your crafting bench, we now have the recipe for the forest axe. You need 3 bones and 3 wooden rods. This will give you an uncommon forest axe with a power of 3. If you compare it to the common one, it's gone up by 1. That 1 will make a big difference. If we return to the caves, we can now farm this new wood, which is called knot rock. Knot rock can only be found in caves in the grasslands. Once you break the branch, it's going to drop you 5, and it's also going to unlock a new recipe for the crossbow uncommon tool. Once back at your tool area, we're now going to convert the knot rod into knot rod rod using the lumber mill. Just like the wooden rod, just put the knot rod in and it's going to give us knot rod rod. We can now craft the uncommon pickaxe with 3 knot rod and 3 bone. We can also make a new sword called the longsword. We have now crafted the sword, the pickaxe and the forest axe. The last one to do is the crossbow. Head back over to the crafting bench, go one across to the sword, and at the top of it is the recurve crossbow. We're going to need 8 knot rod and 1 drawstring. To create drawstring, we need to create a spinning wheel. The spinning wheel basically make objects for us like thread, so we're going to need 8 planks, 5 wooden rod, 5 wood and 5 wolf claw. To get started, we're going to make another lumber mill to speed things up. One is going to be 4 planks, so we're going to put a few wood in there, and the other one is going to be used for the wooden rod. This just speeds up the process of doing 2 materials at once, and then we're going to go find a wolf and fight it. As we've already created a sword, we just have to hit him twice and he'll be eliminated and he'll drop 4. We need to kill 2 wolves to get 5 in total. Once that's done, we're going to head back, pick up all the materials, and we can now craft the spinning wheel. When placing the spinning wheel, make sure it has a cover, because if it gets wet it won't work. As soon as you craft it, we're then going to get some new recipes, including cord and drawstring and silk thread. To make drawstring, we're going to need 5 cord, so go above, and to make cord you're going to need 5 fines. So altogether we're going to need 30 fines, and once that's made we can then convert that into drawstring. If you do have someone in your village, he will craft these random materials, so you don't have to keep making these. Once you've crafted the drawstring, we're going to go back over to the crafting bench, and we're now going to craft the crossbow. So as soon as you craft this, we're then going to get a recipe for arrows. Head back to the crafting bench all the way to the end. You're now going to have arrows, and to make it you're going to need 1 wood and 1 feather. Feathers can be found by eliminating chickens, and they drop 1 every time. So if you go back to the crafting bench and put 1 piece of wood and 1 feather in, you're now going to get 8 arrows. Once you've got ammo, aim at what you need to hit, but the further away it is, you need to aim higher so it drops onto them. If you miss it, you can pick it up. And from a closer range, aim at their head and it'll do double the damage. So it does 14 as it's only 7 damage. Chapter 3, Rare Tools. We're going to be crafting a rare sword, axe, pickaxe and a shield. And we also need to make some new machines, a stonebreaker and gem cutter. You're going to need these to make these rare weapons. To get started, we need to go back in the cave and farm these marble rocks using the pickaxe we just created. It's going to take quite a few hits, even if you jump and hit, just to break them. They're going to drop 7 marble every block. Once you've got over 50, we're going to head back and now create the stonebreaker. To create the stonebreaker, you're going to need 20 knot rot and 35 marble. We can now create some new recipes, including granite slab and marble slab. The marble slab is going to be quite key to creating the gem cutter. It's going to be one of the main parts. Okay, to create a gem cutter, we're going to need the following. We're going to need 20 marble, 5 rough amber, 5 sand claw, and 3 sand shell. To get most of these ingredients, bottom 3, we need to head over to the desert, which is the sandy area on the map. It does get hot over there, so the temperature will increase and it will decrease our energy over time. So these are the resources we need to collect. So the first one we're going to go for is the wolf claw. So we need to find a desert wolf. They do normally hunt in packs of 3, so let's try not to get stuck in the middle. Okay, we're going to use the bow from distance and then try to aim for the head. It's going to do around 14 per headshot. So we're going to try to keep a distance from him, and we're going to let our little friend try to hit him while we run away. 1 bite and it's probably going to eliminate us. So as soon as you eliminate him, we will get 4 sand claws. So you need 5 in total. The next thing we need to do is look for rough amber. Rough amber can be found on top of the mountains in the desert area. You can use the geysers to jump up if you got the redeploy. So you can look for these like golden colour rocks. You're going to hit them with the uncommon pickaxe. It does 6 damage every time, or 12 if you jump and hit. It's going to drop you 2 rough amber every time you break one. We need roughly about 10 to do the next stage. Item number 3. We now need to find sandshell. To find it, we need to find this crab. It's got a little tree on its head, and it can eliminate you if it jumps up and hits you once. Because we've only got 3 hearts, we need to stay away. Once you eliminate him, he will then drop you a sandshell. We're going to need 3 of these in total. The last item we need in this area is going to be from destroying a cactus, but at the moment we don't have strong enough forest axe to do it, so we're going to cheat. We're going to find one of these exploding crabs, and it's going to run towards us or one of our friends, and it's going to explode near the cactus, and it's going to drop a new type of wood. The wood is called flexwood. We're going to use this later on when making the pickaxe and axe. Okay, now we're back at our base. We're now going to create a gem cutter. This is going to turn rough amber into cut amber. This does take a while to work, so we're going to put all 9 in one go, and we're going to let it cook. We're then going to head over to the crafting bench, and we're going to check out the forest axe. So we're going to need 5 cut amber and 3 knot rock rod. You're now going to be able to farm cactuses with it because it does 5 damage, and if you hit it over while jumping, it does 10. Once we start farming the flexwood, we can now start creating the pickaxe. To create the rare pickaxe, we're going to need 3 flexwood rod and 3 sand claw. So if you head over to the lumber mill now, we're going to convert the flexwood into flexwood rod like we did earlier with the knot roll. Once you have 3, head back over, and we're now going to create a pickaxe. Once crafted, we can now farm things with 3 damage, like these copper bins. Every time you farm a copper bin, it's going to drop us 4 copper bar. This is also going to unlock some new recipes, including the epic forest axe. We're also going to be able to make a new sword and shield. So once you've got enough of these copper bars, head back to your crafting bench, and we can start making stuff. So if you go back to the swords and go all the way down to the bottom, you're going to have a long sword, and this will do 7 damage. Only for 8 copper bar. So if you slam someone with that, it's going to be 14 overall. And we're also going to create a night shield to protect us against the crabs. Pretty cool. Chapter 4, Charms. If you're wondering what charms are, as soon as you go into a cave in the desert, you're going to burn up. It's because you're not carrying a charm. When you're not carrying them, your health's going to decrease rapidly. If you look at the top left hand corner, you can see the temperature gauge. We're currently in the red and it's saying burning. So we need to get out there really quick. I'm going to show you how to create a new charm. This will keep you cool. If you go back to the crafting bench and go all the way down to cool headed charm, by using silk thread, sandshell and marble, we can make a charm that keeps us a lot cooler. To get started, go over to the spinning wheel and we're going to make silk thread. To get silk thread, you need to kill spiders and they drop you some silk. And just place it in here and it converts it. The next thing you need to get is sand shells. If we head back over to the desert, we're now going to go fight these crabs. They'll drop you 1 sand shell. Once you have 3 silk thread, 1 marble and 3 sand shells, we can then go create the charm. Once created, now go into inventory and now go over to what you just created and then just equip. We have gained 3 extra hearts and now you have shield as well. You've also made the temperature gauge go down a bit for the heat, and if you add another one it will go down again and you've got more shield and another 3 hearts. Do it the 3rd time because you can carry 3, and now it's gone down even lower with 15 shield and another 3 hearts. So if you go back to the desert area and go in the lava cave, this time we should not be burning at all as our heat resistance has increased, so we can basically take more heat. Okay, we're now going to go farm 3 new materials in this cave. The first material we're going to look at is bright core. If you go over to it, we can now start pickaxing it. This is going to be one of the main parts to make lights because it's going to be the energy source. It drops 7 every time you break one as well. The next material is copper. So early on we broke the barrel and it gave us copper plate. So once you farmed this copper, we can then convert it into copper plate. It drops 7 every time you break one rock. It also has opened a new recipe for the oven. The next material is obsidian. Just like the other 2 blocks, this does take quite a while to break, and once it does break, it's going to drop it in bulk. So you're going to get another 7. Once you pick it up, we're then going to unlock a new recipe for the epic pickaxe. Chapter 5, Epic Tools. We're now going to create a new epic sword, axe, pickaxe and crossbow. We're also going to create this metal smelter to make those items. To get started, go to utility and go all the way down to the bottom and you're going to see the metal smelter. You're going to need 3 resources: bright core, option slab and blast core. Step 1, go over to the stonebreaker and go to the option we just collected and turn it into option slab. You're going to need around 35 for this. Step 2, go back to the desert area and we're going to find this blaster crab. Once he explodes or dies, he will drop you this new blast core. A crafting ingredient left behind by blasters. Make things go kaboom with a bit of this. Once you have bright core, blast core and option slab, we can now create the metal smelter. Now we created the metal smelter, we can now make copper bar using copper and bright core 2:1 ratio. This is going to be the main resource to create to make the epic forest axe, as you need 3 copper bar and 3 knot rod. Okay, let's start by going to the lumber mill and converting knot rod into knot rod wood. You're going to need 3 in total, and then creating copper bar using copper and bright core. We're going to need 3 as well. Once you have both resources, we can now create the epic forest axe. Okay, the forest axe does 7 damage now, so it's a more powerful axe and we can use it in the frozen biome. If you go up to the trees, we can now break them using this axe. Once you do break a tree, it's going to drop you some new material called frost pine, and it's also going to unlock a new recipe called frost pine rod. So if you head back to the crafting bench, we can now see we can create a pickaxe using option slab and frost pine wood. So the first thing we need to do is convert the frost pine into frost pine rod. We will need 5 in total. The next step is pretty similar to before. Go to stonebreaker and convert oxygen into oxygen slab. Now we have all the resources, we can now create the epic pickaxe. Once crafted, we have now crafted a pickaxe that does 4 times damage. That means we can now go farm new items. So if you head over to the Frostland area, we're going to now farm some new things. There is a new chest here that you can't break with a normal pickaxe, but if we slam and hit it, we can break it, and it's going to drop us a new material called iron bar. This is also going to unlock new recipes for the epic crossbow. This is a little shortcut how to get this weapon really quickly. So if you go over to the crafting bench, we can now craft a few items, including the night shield for 15 iron bar, and then right at the bottom we can now craft the longsword epic for 8 bars. This sword is quite strong, it does 9 damage or 18 if you slam people with it. Now we got all the weapons that we need to start fighting, we can now go to the frost area and explore that area, as we've got the sword, the axe and the pickaxe. Chapter 6, Heat Charms. So we want to stay warm when we're in a frozen area or we're going to freeze to death. So we're going to create an inner fire charm. Increases resistance to cold temperatures. So this is going to be a big bonus. We'll need 4 resources, including wool thread, cut ruby, bright core and blast core. We already have a few of these items already. We just need to go find some cut ruby and I'll show you how to make wool thread. So the first one is we're going to look for rough ruby. So if you go back to the lava caves, you're going to find this red rock. We just need to destroy it. It's going to drop 2 every time. They are quite rare to find. They're normally quite hidden, so you have to look for them. Once you have one, then go back to the gem cutter and convert it into cut ruby. This is a slow process, so while this is converting, we're going to go over the spinning wheel and convert wool into wool thread. Wool can be found by like patting sheep or overfeeding them, and then we can convert them into wool thread. Once you have all 4 ingredients or resources, we now can create the charm. Just like before, we're going to remove one of the old charms and replace it with the inner fire charm. As you can see, we've gained an extra heart and some more shield, but we've also got a little bit more resistance in the cold area, but we have lost resistance in hot weather. We're now going to go over to the frozen area, which is the Frostlands, and we're going to go to a cave. The cave is just like the lava cave. When you go in there, it's going to be quite cold, so depending on how many charms you got on, it's going to be a big thing. So at the moment, we have got 3. So our resistance is quite strong. As you can see, the blue is really low, and we've also got extra hearts too. Once you equip the torch, we're now going to go explore the cave, and we're going to look for some iron. And there you go, there's some iron on top, and we've also got a chest here which we can break later on. So in this area you have to basically climb up a lot because the iron is high up. Okay, using the epic pickaxe we can now farm the iron. This is going to take quite a while because they are quite strong. They're over 100 damage as well. So as soon as you pick one up, you're going to get a new recipe for a health charm epic, and we can now create some iron bar. So if you go over to your metal smelter, we now have the recipe for the iron bar. So you need 1 iron and 2 bright core ratio. So we're going to make quite a few just to make some new items. Once you've got the iron bars, we can now create a recurve crossbow epic version. You're going to need 8 frostpine rod, 1 drawstring and 3 iron bar. We're also going to create a knight shield, which is 15 bar. This is pretty strong. This is the strongest shield you can get. Okay, once you crafted that, we now have all the epic weapons and tools we need. So we got the epic longsword, 9 damage. The pickaxe is 4 damage. The forest axe is 7 damage. And the crossbow is 14 damage. And you also have the shield too. The crossbow is quite overpowering. If you get a headshot of it, it does double damage, so it's 28 damage. However, if you use the sword, it only does 18 damage when you slam it, so it's only 9 overall. If you need any more help guys, just leave a comment. Till next time, peace.